Good afternoon and welcome to today's ceremony honoring Mr. Yia Kha. The host for today's ceremony is Air Force Chief of Staff General Norton A. Schwartz. Please rise for the arrival of the official party.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Please be seated. We extend a special welcome to Mr. Kha's wife, Miss B, and their children. Their children, Jason, June, Tamoa, Shuane, and Fu, and a host of family and friends that are here, that traveled here from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and abroad. We also extend a warm welcome to the Honorable Daniel Ginsburg, Assistant Secretary of the Air Force for Manpower and Reserve Affairs, and Honorable Craig During, former Assistant Secretary of the Air Force for Manpower and Reserve Affairs, and his wife Terry. And the Raven Forward Air... And also the Raven Forward Air Controllers, also known as the Ravens, are here with us today. Thank you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, General Schwartz.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a special treat it is to be here with you and Mr. Secretary and Craig and Terry. It's great to have you, and especially the Ravens, folks that people of your generation admired and people from my generation continue to admire. And it's one of the reasons why it's so special here to honor Yia and B and their family, because of the history here, and perhaps to remedy something which wasn't completely done right or done well, and that is to acknowledge the service of our partners many years ago, and certainly I would call them battle buddies. I believe you would all agree. It's long overdue, as we said, and again, B, we met for a few minutes before. You should see the quilt that B gave us in honor of this event, and it will hang proudly in our offices. Again, B, thank you very much for that. If you'll allow me to reminisce a little bit, as I was telling Craig and Yia, you know, there are lots of folks that are Raven wannabes, but it's important, I think, to reminisce just a little bit about that today. You know, the Ravens were founded under somewhat inauspicious fashion in 1966. And essentially the job was to surveil targets, essentially with unarmed aircraft, and like the O-1 observation aircraft. And basically the job was, and there is an analog to today's business, to find the target, to order the strike, to mark the location accurately with smoke, to control the operation, and to stay over the target and do bomb damage assessment after the engagement. And as you can imagine, from day to day, the missions varied in intensity and complexity and risk. And sometimes the Ravens flew alone, but often they flew with backseaters called robins. And the analog I would like to draw today, perhaps it's a bit of a stretch, but if you think about what we are doing today with remotely piloted aircraft, with operators and sensors, this is not that far removed, except The aircraft are not physically occupied. The Robins were Hmong soldiers who were handpicked to learn English in Thailand and to translate radio messages from Hmong and Laotian ground forces to the Ravens in the aircraft. And like Ravens, Robins were assigned numbers, which they used as their personal call signs. To many of the Ravens, there were two Robins that stood out. One was the original Robin, but the other was Robin 09. And today we are here to acknowledge the service of Robin 09 and to say thank you from your United States Air Force. The Ravens who flew with Yia identified a number of attributes that sort of made him distinctive amongst his peers. Exceptional English skills, certainly intellect, loyalty to the mission, and most importantly, and the hardest thing, courage. And on multiple occasions, as you all know, he ignored his own personal safety to ensure the safety of his Laotian and American comrades. On one such mission, Yia volunteered to fly on a fiercely contested rescue of a downed F-4 airman. And Craig During, then a Raven pilot, Raven 27, remained on station during the initial portions of this rescue effort for several hours, and then had to return to base to refuel and rearm. And it just so happened that the original Robin decided that he would not return to that mission that day. And so Raven 27 now found himself in a situation. He was without a backseater, and undoubtedly Craig would have gone back in any case, but it would have made the mission much more difficult and dangerous. And without prompting and without regard clearly for his own safety, he has stepped up and volunteered to fly back to this extremely hazardous rescue situation. And it's not a small thing to be able to say all these years later that that rescue was a success. That because of Craig During and Yia Kha, we left one less American behind. And I suspect that there are others in this room, in this space, who could give yet more examples of Yia's exemplary service in the face of danger. You know, Winston Churchill once said that courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality that guarantees all others. And Yia Kha's courage in a time of extreme danger, sir, was certainly nothing less than heroic. And his willingness to put his service ahead of his personal safety is a trait that certainly we in our Air Force have always cherished, Yia, and we will always cherish. And so thank you for your service and for the family sacrifice over the years. And I think it is now time that we read the citation that recognizes Yia Kha's service, maybe a few years too late, sir. But sincerely read and given nonetheless. Please join me if you would.
Please rise. Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of the United States Air Force Certificate of Appreciation to Mr. Yia Kha. First Lieutenant Yia Kha distinguished himself by a heroic service while participating in aerial flight in the Kingdom of Laos during the war in Southeast Asia. From September 1968 through December 1970, Lieutenant Kha flew an extraordinary number of combat missions as Robin 09, along with the U.S. Air Force counterparts. His aircraft was struck by an anti-aircraft fire on multiple occasions, but the Lieutenant Kha repeatedly returned to the battlefield to inflict a terrible toll on the enemy and to save the lives of his Laotian and American comrades. Additionally, Lieutenant Kha flew as a Royal Laotian Air Force fighter pilot, flying his heavily armed T-28 in the support of the Laotian Army, led by Major General Vang Pao. The dangerous missions that he flew inflicted heavy losses on the enemy force, thereby preventing their engagement against American and Allied forces further to the south. Through 7 long years of nearly constant combat, Lieutenant Kha courageously fought on with his American allies in spite of the bad weather, dangerous mountain terrain, and constant ground fire. The United States Air Force is proud to honor the courage, the skill, and the tenacity of his heroic officer and friend.
This is something that hopefully you will find a place for in your home. And again, given with respect and admiration.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kha.
General Schwartz, former Assistant Secretary Pentagon, to all who are assembled here. I'm grateful to receive this honor today. I'm humble. All my life I try to do what is right and noble. Any good thing I did for my family, my friend, my country, come from a desire to do my best. My time with the Raven flying team in Laos to protect my country, to help American down pilot from an armed way and from the enemy. It was fulfilling to me. My experience were a part of my opportunity to serve my country and the interests of the United States. I thank God for saving my life through all the difficult times. And I also want to thank the Congress, the United States citizens, for bringing the Hmong people to this country. We found freedom, peace, and job. I want to thank General Schwartz and former Assistant Secretary Pentagon for making this occasion possible. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Can we get some pictures perhaps of the family?
Sure.
And then we should all congratulate Yia Kha. Please join us.
Show me the picture. Go in there. That's all there. Go, come on. Go, come on, then, Go take a picture, you guys.
Jasmine.
Mua lên nha. Con cho chả nên chụp một thế à? Okay. You better take a good picture, okay?
Sure. All right, everybody look right here. One and two. Once again.
Cheese. Cheese.
Now, sit me and you beside it. Yes, yeah, good. Lift
That's her mom. Did you see the quilt?
What's that? Oh, thank you. Oh my, that is the quilt. Oh wow. Okay, good. That is so beautiful. Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, top picture. Oh, where are you?
Did you get everybody in, or do you want us to sandwich?
Oh.
Tyler. Electrons are free. You can look at different parts of the room. Everybody look right. Okay, hold on.
You're on the right.
Here we go. Thank you. Okay, calm down. 3, 2, 1. Okay. That's it.
Oh, right.